Hey there, it's Tad Harger from Marketing for Hippies, and I'm recording this video because I woke up, like maybe some of you did, to the news about the shooting in Vegas. 50 people dead, 400 injured, the largest mass shooting in recent history in the United States. And this type of thing, heartbreaking and rattling, because it can lift up this question: what's the point of the work that I do? You know, here I am, a life coach or healer. Yeah, there's the pat answer. Well, now our work is more needed than ever. But I want to push this a bit. The danger here is that we get into this. I mean, of course, this is what the media says all the time, if it's a white person particularly, that it was a lone gunman, a lone wolf. But it's important to remember that these things don't happen in isolation. These things are a result of deep institutional cultural causes. Of course, sometimes there's some brain chemistry that happens, and we don't know in this case, but the fact that guns are so accessible, the fact that mental health is so deeply neglected in this culture, the fact that white nationalism is on the rise, and racism, I'm not saying any or all of those in this case, but these types of things have deeply institutional causes. They're not just one bad person. This is what always gets trotted out, that Black Lives Matter is making a big deal when there's just a few bad apples, when what they're trying to point to is something deeper and more institutional. We have a shooting like this and we want to point to one person, but that argument gets thinner and thinner when there's more and more of it happening. And why do we have more now than we've had before? So it's really easy when these things happen to go back asleep and say, well, right, my work is more needed than it's ever been before, and let's just keep on healing. Here's where I want to invite everyone to maybe take a next step. And I wrote about this in the last section of my book, The Niching Nest. Whatever the issue is that you help people with, let's say it's back pain. Yes, you can keep helping people with back pain, and certainly that's needed, and the people with back pain are going to be grateful for it. But there's another level, there's a deeper level we can go to, and we can ask, why are so many people having back pain? Oh, because they're sitting at desks all the time. Why are they sitting at desks all the time and being so sedentary? Well, because it's office jobs, and that's what's happening. Why is it that we're making our money this way? We can start to think deeper about why people are showing up. It's not just some lone person who's showing up with back pain. You may notice there are a lot of them. Or people are coming to you struggling in relationships, or they're struggling with their finances. These kinds of moments, you can go right back asleep with the thought, I'm more needed than ever, doing the same thing. But it might just be that these increasingly horrific and heartbreaking symptoms in this culture are asking us to think deeper about our work, asking us to think deeper about why is it even needed in the first place, and then to start directing some of our attention there. There's the old story about a guy walking along a river, and he hears somebody drowning and shouting, and he rescues that person, but just as he's rescuing them, he hears another person, and he rescues that person, then two more people, and then he gets those two people up, and of course there's somebody downstream who's throwing people in. And at some point, some portion of our energy has to be directed at addressing that root cause. So it's a kind of a meditation, and I invite you to do it, to really think about what is the issue that I'm helping people with in their personal lives, just individually. Is it they're scared of making cold calls? Is it they want to eat healthier food? Is it that they, are dealing with some heartbreak from a relationship, or just that they feel stressed and anxious all the time? Whatever the particular issue is, take that and wonder about, why is it there? What's happening in this culture that makes it so common that it starts to seem normal? Because this is what happens. People say, well, what's the point? We're going to rebel. What's the point when it's going to get so bad? But it's not that. The more common it is, the less likely we are to rebel. The more common it becomes, it's gradually turning up the heat on the frog in the pot of water. The more it happens, the more common it is, the more normal it seems. And the more normal it seems, the less likely we are to do anything about it. So we've got to start looking at, why is it so common? Because one of the things you discover when you start to look at why is it so common, you'll discover there was a time when it was not so common. There's a time when this problem probably wasn't a thing. That this challenge may have only started in the last few hundred years. Sometimes last few thousand. But you can start to learn a lot about this culture by learning about the symptoms that you help people with and why they're there. So this is my imploring to everybody. Use these moments as a chance to learn this culture. Learn the time and place that we're in, instead of, again, dropping into the trance of, well, it's just all healing and it's all good and it's all needed, and it's more needed than ever. That's a way to fall asleep. And the other option, of course, is to say, well, God, there is no point anymore, because all these things are happening, and what's my coaching business got to do with any of it? Let's start to learn the culture, and let's start to turn some of our attention to addressing root causes. And that might mean starting a nonprofit. That might mean partnering with a nonprofit that works on those root issues. That might mean starting to write and talk about those more in our social media, and not just talking about our business and the marketing and promoting that, but talking about, here's the underlying causes. Because when you get to a lot of the underlying causes, no matter where you start, you get to a similar analysis of the culture. You start to see the same things are happening, the same patterns that other people are seeing. You'll come in from this direction, I'll come in from this direction, but there is something similar there. So anyways, that's my thought for today. I'm overwhelmed like the rest of you with these times, but it's good to know that you're all in the world doing what you're doing.